What's going on and who's got it going on? Find out on the Tillamook Today Show with Shaena. Weekdays at 9:30, only on 95.9 KTIL FM.
Thanks for keeping it on your favorite country station, 95.9 KTIL. Wrapping up the morning show. My name's Logan, and happy to turn it on in there to the newsroom. And Shaena, good morning, Shaena.
Hi there. How are you? I was looking for something. I'm not sounding too bright. It's a good thing I got the community college here to help me along on stuff. We've got Heidi and Rhoda joining us this morning. Good morning, ladies. And one thing before we check on how our fall term started and everything, great luncheon last week.
Thank you. That was really good. Well, we always love to get together and recognize Mildred, of course, Mildred Davy. Yeah, it was our that was our big stewardship and kind of recognition for our donors and all of the scholarship recipients, and we did. We had a good time, a good turnout.
And I heard, what did I hear? 60,000.
We gave out, yes. So Tillamook Bay Community College Foundation gave out just under $60,000 in scholarships this year to students. That's huge.
That is huge.
Yeah, we were excited.
You know, I had eloquent is the only word for the three young people from the public speaking class over at Tillamook High School, and Miguel, one of the young people gave a talk on finances and figuring them out when you're still in high school, because find something, a scholarship, you don't have to pay that back in those first years. If you could get a couple of years, and they can't they?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, I think at some point today we'll talk about that, because just yesterday I opened up 3 new scholarships. One is brand new to the college. Well, actually, 2 of them are brand new to the college. So that's pretty exciting. And those are out right now, posted on our website. Excellent. And I can go through those in a little bit.
We will. But how fall term has started?
Fall term has started.
Yeah.
Things are going great. We've got students in some of our new programs, the online degree, business degree program. We've got quite a few students started in there and getting going. We've moved a lot to a lot of the OERs, the Open Educational Resources, this term, which is a great savings for students. If you're not familiar with that, what that means is instead of needing to purchase textbooks, some instructors have resources that don't cost a student that they have available. So last spring, we offered 3 courses with the OERs. This fall, we're up to 14, and we're working on increasing that. So that's a great savings for students to not need to
How expensive. I mean, I can remember back in '69 how much those books cost. I can only imagine what some of those tomes must cost. But to be able to, and that was one of the reasons our Tillamook High School a few years back began to use iPads, and now I think they're using more Chromebooks too, because you get it fresh text. It's right there, and I think all of us, not just our young people, but all of us learn differently now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and the Chromebooks, those are not just in Tillamook. They're north, south, they're all over. It's a great resource for students to do that, and they learn all kinds of skills that really that's how they need to function in the business world. So getting them started at a young age, understanding how to use technology and the benefits and savings that can happen through technology too is very important.
Well, and Rhoda, there's a lot of things that our young people, not just young people, everybody goes to school at our community college, but a lot of online classes now for people.
Yes, we have that one program that's fully online, but we're also opening more and more courses that are online or hybrid courses, which allows students the flexibility to do the work when they have time. So if they're working, if they have kids at home, and they don't necessarily have the flexibility or the luxury of going during the normal daytimes, they have the ability to take those courses and do the work when they're free, maybe at 3 a.m. But
yeah, exactly.
If that's what works.
Right.
Well, and now we don't have any late enrollment. So if you didn't make fall term, you're that's way past due, folks. But how anything to do to get ready for our next one?
Yes, winter registration is set to open November 23rd. We're anticipating the schedule to be available online the week of November 2nd, so students can start looking at what's available, returning students, and planning their course. If you're interested in starting winter, now is a great time to go to our website. you can click on Getting Started, and there's the admissions page. It lines out the steps of what you need to do pretty clearly. Can certainly contact Student Services with questions about majors, what kind of path you have, but you can go ahead and get things going so that when the schedule is available, you can go ahead and get registered right away, get in and get started.
And sometimes, and exactly so, it's not, you want to maybe get a jump on some of those hot ones, huh?
That's
they
right.
fill up.
That's right. But I think a good message there is that you can do it all online.
And that is an excellent message.
Yep, you can go ahead and get it done and get registered. We do have new students attend an orientation, which will be available online or in person. It's kind of nice to do the in person. We want to make sure students are ready to get going and get all their questions answered. So that's always a good opportunity. And we do have, for new and returning, a couple of scholarships that are available for winter that weren't available for fall. So you're poised to have some great opportunities right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, some real support. So one of the other things that I like to encourage students to do, and Rhoda can speak more about this than myself, but is to spend the time to meet with an advisor. Because if you are just getting started, let's say you've been out of school for a period of time. Let's say you didn't go right into getting your degree after you graduated high school and you're coming back. Sometimes there's just some things to figure out. What is it that I really want to do? How can I get through this, quickly? Should I take some hybrid classes? You can sit down with an advisor and they can really walk you through how to get from where you are today to where you want to be in the future. And it's such a valuable resource.
Yeah, and that we have both a career education advisor to help you think through what classes to take and what major. We also have financial aid advisors to help you actually plan the funding for that program, which is something that's very important also. Something else for students that they can think about now for current students, if they're planning on graduating in either winter or spring, now is a great time to apply for graduation so we can come alongside them and make sure that they're on track to graduate at that point.
That makes good sense.
Yeah, make sure they get registered for all the right classes. So,
and how did this happen? It's not too far till the first of the year when we'll be applying for FAFSA.
That's true. Applying for FAFSA and scholarship resources are opening. November 1st this year, OSAC, which is the Office of Student Access and Completion, their scholarship site opens up November 1st this year, so you can start applying for statewide scholarships early this year. So that's a great resource for students. They can also start getting documents together for filing the FAFSA on January 1st, because we want to get that in there early. So
I think it was Bruce Rhodes, and I still thought that was really good when his kids were still at home. That's what they did on New Year's Day.
That's right. I think you mentioned that before. That's great. Yeah. So all of the resources that Rhoda just mentioned, they'll be on our website. Excellent. So if you go out to the TillamookBayCC.edu, under the Getting Started tab is scholarships, and on that page we have it broken down where there's the foundation scholarships, outside scholarships, and there'll be all the links over to the OSAC website, so students can go. It's a lot to try to remember. What we try to do is just be a great resource to the community by putting it all on our page. So if you can just go right there, we should have the links you need to go out and find, everything for federal financial aid, OSAC, and then what we're offering for scholarships. So.
And it's an easy way, TillamookBayCC.edu.
Mm-hmm. So it's a trunk, community college. So Tillamook Bay CC, we thought it would be a little bit easier than having to write the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it makes it, but you can see that, Tillamook Bay Community College, TillamookBayCC.edu for education. But a good website, friendly and easy to navigate.
Thank you.
And I think people are finding out more and more about, does it fit on my smartphone? I was amazed by the number of people that use, and I mean in the 60+% that there are smartphones in those hands when they're looking something up.
It's true. Yeah, it's pretty neat to see the demographics on that, who's doing it, and what they're using, whether it's a tablet or a phone, if it's an iPhone and Android, and you can have access to all that. Ours is mobile friendly. It's not what you would call responsive, which means it'll adjust to fit whatever device, but we're moving in that direction. It's exciting. We're going to make sure that we have that in place by next year.
Just last night at a meeting, a goal-setting meeting that we're preparing to do, getting ready for a town hall meeting in Bay City. We had a vendor that I visited with at the League of Oregon Cities give us a demonstration of just what you're talking about, and to have it friendlier, because a lot of, and it was the Google Analytics that you talked, I think might be using. Pretty amazing, because he looked at a few other cities in a large portion of it, again, hovering around the 50% that come in from some tablet or smartphone.
And as we're moving to being more technically friendly as far as online courses, and an entire program now online, we really need to make sure that students can do that work from whatever it is. Like you said, we all learn different. We all have different resources. We have students that do all of their work at the library. We have students that literally, read all their OERs while they're traveling and, riding in the car on their phones. I mean, all kinds of things. So we have to make sure that we are accessible to everyone who needs us. So
we're going to be back in just a moment visiting with Heidi and Rhoda. We'll take a short break for a great sponsor. Then I want an update on how our building is looking.
Absolutely.
But you can take a bite out of history. Tillamook Country Smoker's natural style jerky is made the old-fashioned way. Natural hardwood smoke to seal in a special blend of hand-mixed spices. It's 97% fat-free and 100% pure delicious. Sliced from solid strips of tender premium beef, Tillamook Country Smoker is a third-generation family business. They have several large smokehouses and many drying rooms packed with row after row of smoked meats. They ship thousands of pounds throughout the world every day. You can visit the retail store on Warren Street at Highway 101 in Bay City. They're open 9 to 5, 7 days a week. Stop by and pick up some 2-foot-long pepperoni, teriyaki, and beef sticks. They're only $1. And have you tried their summer sausage? It's the real deal, not that greasy-tasting stuff those other guys make. Tillamook Country Smoker. If we're going to eat healthy, this is the way to do it. Be sure to visit them online, too, at tcsjerky.com. I have to tell the story, Heidi. I'm in there the other day to pick up a bag of jerky for my brother because I'm going to Gresham. And here it was just packed. Retail was just full that Saturday morning. It was really cool to see that. And this short one, about a 5-year-old, comes through and he says, I need jerky. And I said, well, you found the right place, sir.
That is so cute. Yeah, it's exciting. You'd asked about the new building, and one of the partners that's actually going to be in the building is the tourism group. And you really can see that, the foot traffic in our communities up and down Tillamook County really is growing on the off season, which is nice, because that's what we're trying to accomplish, is to make sure that, we know we have people here in the summer, right?
We do.
But we'd like to spread that out just a little bit further into the seasons before and after the summertime. So really
Tommy Flood was on Monday, and from the Schooner and from the Tourism Industries Association, and they like to call what we're calling the shoulder season, the opportunity season, because it's a great name for it. And interestingly enough, and I'm sure everyone within the sound of my voice knows the Schooner and what a great job it's done at reinventing itself, but he said he felt 75% of their business was tourism, and including in the second homeowners related. So that's and they're doing very well. But
they do. They have such a great product. They really deliver. I can't imagine that they wouldn't be doing great. So.
They're going to do something fun. I think this is their 6th year. They're going to do Thanksgiving again.
Right. Mm-hmm. Nice.
And they have the bake sale on Wednesday night, and then they did dinner last year for 400 people. They also cater. If someone wants to have their dinner catered, they take care of that too. They used our college. They used our culinary section to have them do, I think they deboned 18 or 19 turkeys for them.
I didn't know that. That's
Isn't that
great.
nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, that is such a great opportunity for students in the culinary program. Because that's something that, Chef Allen may have not brought to the table as an opportunity, but just to be able to partner with the community that way and to learn that skill. And anytime they can work with fresh local ingredients, I know they try to do that recently. Well, for the Mildred Davy Luncheon, Community Supported Fisheries out of Garibaldi
Excellent.
donated the salmon for us.
Very nice.
Yes, at a very discounted
Thank you,
price.
Jeff Wong, and-
yes, and part of when I was talking with Jeff about that, what really got him excited is it wasn't so much that the event. He was excited that the students could actually use that fresh, local caught salmon and
Exactly.
really learn from that opportunity with product that came right from here. So.
Well, and I know that the students last year felt the same way to help with something that ultimately raised $8,500 for our food bank. So that's pretty
great.
nice, yeah. Plus fed a bunch of people really good food.
Yeah.
Anyway, our college is truly a partner in this community, and I'm looking forward. And when you talk about partnerships, the Ag and Natural Resources facility is a little bit more than just that, isn't it?
It is. So for those listeners who may not know, I hope everybody knows, but some may not, the college is building a Partners for Rural Innovation Center, and the project has already started. We've broken ground in September, and in fact, they have taken the project to where it'll probably start slowing way down and stop for the winter,
Sure.
and kick back up in about February again. But the building is being built right across from the fairgrounds, kitty corner to the college and the 4-H dorm.
Perfect.
And the partners that are going to be in that building are it's OSU Extension is primary, Oregon Open Campus, the Economic Development Center, the Small Business Development Center, and the Tourism Group. And then there's going to be very large classroom space in there with a demonstration kitchen, and our Ag and Natural Resource degree program. All of our courses will be taught there. And, I talk about this a lot. This is a project that I've been involved with since, not the beginning, but certainly for the last year, I've had a lot of focus of my time around this. And I have to tell you that on Sunday, I went to the 4-H Awards banquet.
Okay.
And they had a little spot on there for me to talk about it. And I thought, gosh, a group full of kids, some of these kids are the Clover, but they're just little kids. And I thought, what do they want to hear about this? I'm like, how many? So I started out just by asking the group, how many people know that the college is building this new partners building, and 4-H and OSU Extension are going to have an opportunity to be there with a brand new classroom. And I was shocked at how many people raised their hands. I was so excited, and they were excited. And it was just neat because you could really see the energy around it in the room. And, when I talked to Troy Downing, one of the big aha moments for me is just thinking about the opportunities for OSU Extension to really spread out. Troy had told me that they have 10 people in an 8-person, setting.
We know where they're at over there on 4th Street.
Yeah, and they're just really, they said that their public space that they open up to the community to rent is booked, like 6 months out. So there's just an opportunity for us to, offer more and collaborate better because there's just the space. When you think about one of the things that I said to the students in the room, I said, if you love what you're doing in 4-H, if you love agriculture, if you love animal sciences, if it's natural resources that you're interested in, you're going to have an opportunity, a clear path right here in this community to get a degree, to go on from high school and actually get a skill in something that you love to do, and ultimately have a career in something that you're passionate about. And you can start right there at the college and transfer to OSU if you so desire, or several other, we have agreements with several others that you can transfer to. It's such an opportunity for this community.
It's a wonderful opportunity, and from the young from the Clover Buds, they can there. I could be going to the college. I'll do my first couple of years right there, or four
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
It's a lot of potential.
There'll be a big computer lab there as well that will be open because of the partnership that we have with OSU, and that we're really encouraging people to do those 2 first years in the Ag and Natural Resource degree program through TBCC in partnership with OSU, that they can then, through the dual partnership program, stay right here local and do the last 2 years online. So we have a great computer lab going in at that facility as well. So
The funding for that facility it came together nicely, and again, thanks to this caring community.
Oh, absolutely. So we are really, really excited about the funding that has come forward. And I know we spoke about this last month, but the majority of the building is funded through dollars from the legislature, the Oregon legislature. So it's about a $4.3 million project. $2 million is coming from the legislature, $1 million from Tillamook Bay Community College, and then we're raising that $1.3 million. Really excited. We had a $250,000 grant from Meyer Memorial Trust that came in.
Thank you, Fred Myers.
We've had a second visit from Oregon Community Foundation. We have our fingers crossed to hear in November how that comes. And then I think we've spoken about the generosity of Helen Ginger, who stepped forward. She was the first one to step forward, and she said, I know. And she said, I want to do this. I want to get behind this. I believe in it. She said, but I'd really like the community to match.
Good.
So
Yes.
she's giving $200,000 and has asked the community to support the project and her in this by coming forward with that additional $200,000. Immediately following that, President Green and Troy went and spoke with the Creamery. And their board loved it too. I mean, they just see the potential. They understand the connection with the small business development and the entrepreneurship in this community. If you think about the farm families that we have.
I think they kind of understand tourism.
I mean, they just get it.
They get it.
So anyway, they said, you know what? We're going to do $200,000 too. So they came forward with $200,000. So it's just been really, really exciting to watch it come together. And we actually have a couple other families in our community that are currently talking with us. They have made a commitment. We're just trying to get it all put together so we can announce it and talk about it publicly as well. So it is exciting.
It is. And the hope is that the doors will be open next fall.
Yes, November 2016.
I like that.
Well, and I've been pretty excited too. I know Heidi's been talking about some of the donors that can't contribute maybe $200,000, but we have a lot of community folks stepping up and donating what they can, whether it's $100, $200. It's great that they're coming behind us in this.
Connie spoke down at the Pacific City Chamber at the beginning of the month, and I just sent her with a couple little fundraising pieces that if anybody's interested to send in, right off the bat. $100 came in from a community member. It just said, I believe in the project.
Exactly.
The chairman of the TBCC board is Debbie Lincoln. I don't know if you know Debbie. She's just fabulous. And she'd written an article for the Headlight Herald, and a family in Pacific City sent in a $500 donation, first donation ever to the college. And it was, they sent a beautiful note with it and just said, you know, we read your article. We think this is the right thing for the community. We're really proud to be able to help, and sent in a check.
As I like to call it, our season of giving is here.
It is upon us.
And what this is a great thing to do. And visit the college's website. Now, what is it? Now, what's the link at the website about the foundations? And
if you just go to tillamookbaycc.edu, on the front page, front and center, where the first tab, it says TBCC Foundation.
Yeah.
You can click right there, and it takes you out and will show you all the different ways you can give. There's some stories from our donors who have given about why they have given. There's some information from students about how it's made a difference in their life, and then there's, of course, contact information on how to contribute.
And it gives you a lot of information. Maybe you don't want to give the college. Maybe you want to do something like Ducks Unlimited or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's all there, and
Right.
It's whatever touches you, and what a great thing to do. I mean, any time of year, but.
You know, actually, that's a really good point, because on our site we have a whole series of tools that ask you questions like, do you want to give now? Do you want to give later? You can use those even if you aren't planning to give to TBCC. You know, let's say you do have a different passion. You can still go out and use those resources just to help you get prepared. So,
Holly and pardon me, Heidi.
happens my
I'd
whole
like
life.
to-
Don't feel.
Well, I got Holly Rico on tomorrow, so I was looking at that. I know I'm looking at Heidi and Rhoda. We're going to take another short break and be right back. Because whether you're in the market for a new car or something pre-owned, it's nice to know who you're doing business with. Some outfits charge dealer markup, and you end up paying a few $1,000s more for a vehicle than you would at Tillamook Motors. Not in the market for a new car? Check out their pre-owned vehicles. They qualify for 1.9% financing with Ford Credit and have a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and a 72-month, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you don't see it on the lot, ask for it. They can get it for you. Tillamook Motor Company, a better place to do business. There's another great community partner, the nicest people over there. We're back visiting with Rhoda and Heidi. Now, let's remind people again, it's just November that we're going to be. When does winter term start?
Winter term starts actually January 4th,
Okay.
but registration opens November 23rd. And like I said, the schedule will be available on our website. We're hoping the week of the 2nd, and it will be in folks' mailboxes a week and a half to 2 weeks after that, so if they want to look through the paper version.
And you mentioned it's not very far out. We've got some scholarships. November 1st is what? That's
Yep.
just like week after next.
Yes, it's a great time to start thinking about applying for next fall, whether you're going to TBCC or another school. One of the things students can work on in the meantime is making sure that they have a list of their accomplishments handy, because that's a great resource for scholarship searches. So they can, I know the high schools do a great job working
Yeah,
with our students on that. But it's a great time to start planning. You can come in, visit with us, and you can do drop-ins or make appointments to talk about financing or career plans. So we'd love to see you come in and see us.
And that's any time. You could stop
Absolutely.
by now and visit.
Yep.
And if you haven't been by the campus, you really owe it to yourself to stop by and just visit with them. But
Yep.
you said, now you require them to take the class before, if the new student.
We do have a new student orientation,
Okay.
and that's to help them make sure that they're prepared for getting going, knowing how it works. We are going to have our online version available here within the next few weeks.
Very
So
nice.
students that are online and maybe out of the area can do that. They have the option to come in and do it in person, which can be a great time to meet some of your fellow students, as well as finding information
Of
about
course.
the college. So they're available online, that you can register for one of those now, even if you're thinking about coming in winter.
You know, I mentioned the public speaking students, and very interesting, all three of them. But I mentioned the IMT program across the street from them at the high
Great.
school, the Industrial Maintenance Technology program. And they all spoke glowingly. Yes, the robotics and the young woman that's a
Nice.
sophomore. I haven't done that yet, but I want to do that. So it made me feel really good that was exactly the college's vision, except
That was-
even better, I think.
Yeah, that is a great example of what we would call a career pathway, which is you can take those courses right in high school and transfer right into a program at the college, even receive a certificate along the way if you know towards a degree. That facility and building there at THS was. The vision has just really come to fruition with that. It's great.
I always like to say it was
Yeah.
Brad Avakian, the labor commissioner, that said it was a shining example. And we
nice.
Tillamook hits the mark regularly.
We have lots of shining. Don't get me started because we're at 10 o'clock, but start with FFA and move from there. We've done well in this community.
We really have. Both of you, thank you very much for stopping by. It's been a really interesting visit. Now I can say Holly, because Lieutenant Holly Rico's going from our sheriff's office is going to be joining us tomorrow. Hey, and happy birthday to Marine Shore. This evening at 6:30, it's Food and Science Night at East Elementary, hosted by Food Roots and East Elementary. OMSI, our Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, has partnered with Food Roots to put together the Food and Science Night. Again, that's at 6:30 at East tonight. This weekend and next, take the Fall Splendor Run on the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad, leaving at 10N1 from Wheeler Depot. You'll ride up to Batterson and back. Also this weekend, it's the Kilchis River Pumpkin Patch and Corn Maze, the largest corn maze on the Oregon coast, just past the 2-mile marker up the Kilchis. And Halloween night, it's the Haunted Night Maze from dusk to 10. Half of all proceeds of that go toward the THS Safe Graduation Party. Sounds like another weekend, just, same old, same old. Thank you again.
Thank you, Shaena.
And thank you, Tillamook.
If it's happening in Tillamook County, it's on the community calendar. Weekdays at 7:35 on 95.9 KTIL.